beautiful chiropractor in Norpath. She doesn't really practice chiropractic anymore. She just is amazing. And good morning. It's a beautiful morning. It was a beautiful day yesterday. Going to be a beautiful day today, and it's supposed to rain the next 3 days. In Arkansas, we get Hawaii gets more rain than us, and Mississippi may get more rain than us, but that's about it. In this area of the state, we get a lot of rain, and it's wonderful because it's so green. You know, it looks like a jungle, right? I don't know if you can see how the trees are budding, and I love that. Absolutely love that. So this morning, I was reading in Colossians 1. It's not that I necessarily frequent this book a lot, but frequent the Apostle Paul a lot, right? And again, I was thinking this morning to never curse our circumstances, because in Paul, instead of cursing the fact that he was in prison, and I can't even fathom. I mean, you know, this is the goodness of God that they even took him out of prison and let him stay in houses, kind of under house arrest, which was amazing and wonderful. But remember what Paul said. I'm sorry I can't put a chapter and a verse on this. Whatever state I'm in, I have learned to be content. I'll have to look that up. But anyway, in Colossians 1, Paul is talking about how, this is in verse 21 and 22, Jesus Christ went to the cross so that we could have peace. And I just embrace that and I accept that. When I say something like, I just love that, it means that I have digested that, I've taken that in, I have made that my own. I know, a Pomsky bit me and I bled and bled and bled. They got me right down beside the nail and the finger. The meat. He bit into my meat and I bled and bled. So, geez, let's not leave on the table what Jesus Christ did for us. He hung on the cross. He died for us, for our peace. So read that in Colossians chapter 1, in verse 21 and 22. It says, before we were saved, is talking about, I'm reading out of the Passion Translation, the darkness of our thoughts and how our thoughts were evil and how our thoughts were dark and how our thoughts were so ungodly. But then when we came to Christ, God has changed that. And if your thoughts are evil, you have no peace. But when you experience resurrection through salvation, then, you know, we 1 Corinthians, is it 9:10 or 10:9? We take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. I think it's 9:10. No, it's not. It's 1 Corinthians 10:5. We take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. We make it bow its knee to Jesus Christ and correct thinking. So I remember one time this young man worked for me, and I said to him, you do not have to think every thought that comes to your head. He goes, I don't? I said, no. You have the power to think good thoughts. And I think this is in Timothy where it says, whatsoever everything is good, whatsoever everything is of a good report, whatsoever everything is lovely, whatsoever everything is peaceable. You know, and he goes on and on. Think about these things. So that's hard to do if we're watching stuff like horror movies, or one reason that I just don't watch TV is because people are typically in conflict, and that's not where I want to be. I don't want to be in conflict. I don't want to think about your conflict. I have enough. And I lay that down, and this is Proverbs 4 where it says, I think it's 4:10. Don't quote me on that, but it's Proverbs 4. Guard your heart, for out of it is the wellspring of life. Above all else, guard your heart. Well, what is your heart? How do things get into your heart? Through your eye gate, through your ear gate, even through your mouth gate. If you say things about yourself like, I'm a failure, I'm a dummy. I made a mistake and I almost typed in a text this morning, I'm so dumb. And I thought, I'm not going to say that. I'm not dumb. I'm created in the image of God. I'm not dumb. Yeah, I made a mistake, but I'm not dumb. So, guard your heart, for above everything else, it says, guard your heart, for out of it is the wellspring of life. And what you are watching and hearing, that's about your music you're listening to, what you're hearing, is going to influence your worldview. And so, I don't know why I thought about this, but let me just tell you something that happened with this same person. So this young lady was an older teenager, and she was helping in a youth group, an Assembly of God youth group. And she was in leadership, right? And this happened when she was in high school, about to get out of high school. And she posted on Facebook this song that she loved. This song. She was talking about how meaningful this song was to her. So I listened to the song. I kid you not. This young man is singing to this young woman using God's name in vain, saying, GD, I love you. GD, I love you. Using God's name in vain. And I called her on it. I said, how can you listen to something that's violating the first of the 10 commandments? Thou shalt not use the Lord thy God's name in vain, and say that you love this song and you're listening to it over and over again. That's not okay. And she unfriended me. And it was really sad, because I was at this girl's birth. Held her mother's hand when she was born. Yeah. Anyway, it's not okay. You know, the scripture says to be friends with the world is to be God's enemy. You can't be friends with the world and be God's friend. Either, you know, what Jesus said about money, you love the one and hate the other. You cling to one and despise the other. You either serve God or you serve money. You can't serve both. I know yesterday the market was, and Tim was upset. I said, honey, stop it. We knew the market was going to crash. It will get worse before it gets better. I said, this doesn't upset me. These things don't move me. So we had chosen to stay in some things, and yeah, it's okay. That's what we chose. So anyway, he's like, oh, thank you for not being mad. I'm like, why would I be mad at you? We both agreed to stay in these things. When they get low enough, we're going to buy more. We're not going to get out. We're going to buy more. So, I know I've been all over the place this morning. Oh, so one more thing about this same young lady who I haven't prayed for in a while. I need to move her up on my prayer list, right? So now she's in college. She's in college, and I'm at the dorm or wherever they gathered, and I was doing some landscaping for Chi Alpha. And so I had brought plants, and I think I needed a little bit more dirt. So here's all these teenagers sitting around, and I said, I just, have so much time. Could one of y'all go and run and get me, here's some money, go get me some more dirt so I can finish up this landscaping, because I have puppies at home. And this is what this one particular girl said. No, we're waiting for a leadership meeting. We couldn't possibly put legs to our religion and go do something useful. We have to go to a leadership meeting. I said, well, you're not a leader if you're not willing to do what needs done when it needs done. You don't need to go to a meeting. You need to do what needs done when it needs done. Anyway, may we pass our tests. No condemnation, no judgment on this particular person. I'm just thinking God presented you with an opportunity to be a leader and you said no. So, praise God, I am here. I think I'm early. Looks like she has a customer. Jesus died so that we could have peace. May we access that peace and not leave it. It's like when I say the word leave it on the table, it's like if you're hungry and Jesus has provided all this food for you, why would you just walk away and leave it on the table? He's provided peace for us. If you're not engaging in Jesus Christ's peace, you're letting other things occupy your mind. And I think the biggest hindrance to peace is unforgiveness. So if you have unforgiveness for someone, you need to work on that. And it's like training horses. It's easy for me to watch someone with their horse and say, right there, you need to work on that. And it's quite another thing for that person to be introspective and get in the correct position mentally and physically with their horse to have that bond of trust and willingness. And so let me tell you one more story. There was someone at the dog show that had a large dog, and he had 2 leashes on his dog. Not 1, 2, because he was concerned the dog was going to get away. So when you think about this, if you have a 1,000-pound animal, we want to keep them next to us, not because I'm 100 and something pounds. I can't hold a 1,000-pound animal and make it stay next to me physically, but I can mentally. And that's what Jesus wants from us. And so that's also what I'm saying can happen with your dog too. It's not about just in your children, right? We don't need to physically restrain them. We teach them to have self-control and say no to their own flesh and their own crazy desires, to swing from the chandeliers, which is okay at times, but then at other times it's not, so that they can give us peace and everyone around them peace. We all want to be around a well-behaved child or a well-behaved dog, and it's not okay if the dog is eating off the table, putting his foot in your face, chewing on your arm, barking, crying. That's not okay. So in our own life, may we lead by example and have that self-control. Then I have to work on that. And then may we expect that from and teach that and practice that with our animals so that they have peace too. In having that self-control, they can have some peace too, right? There's a time you can bark and there's a time not to bark, okay? So, I don't know, go back to Colossians 1:21 and 22 about Jesus died and gave us peace. And also in John 14, he talks about my peace I give you, not as the world gives, not this fake peace, but real peace. Now, once he has given this to us, it is our responsibility to walk in that peace and to maintain that peace and to abide in that peace. So, Lord, I just pray today that we would absolutely walk in the peace of God, in the goodness of God. And since she's hollering at me. Okay, walk in peace today. Praise God. Bless you.